The Chicago Sky organization is officially in full-blown crisis mode, and the biggest, most embarrassing meltdown in the history of the WNBA has just been broadcast to the entire world. The critics are taking a massive victory lap, and the internet is completely exploding. Welcome back to WNBA Verdict. If you thought the hype train surrounding Angel Reese was completely unstoppable, you are dead wrong. The brutal, undeniable truth was just exposed on the court. Fans watching the game were left completely speechless as they witnessed an absolute, historic disaster class. Angel Reese just dropped what the entire basketball world is calling the single worst performance in WNBA history. Looking completely lost, entirely overwhelmed, and serving as a massive liability to her own team. Listen, when you demand the spotlight and talk a massive game off the court, you have to back it up. But to step onto the hardwood and put up a performance so historically horrific that your own coaches are literally holding their heads in panic. Fans are absolutely losing their minds.
All right, black and white sports supporters. Well, my God, we're riding the high of Caitlin Clark, Iowa Caitlin Clark, rising back to the top, right? Despite her coach, we are riding high there. Don't worry, guys. I will have some fever stuff later today after what we witnessed last night. Of course, the altercation, the screaming back and forth. There's evidently a clip that's now gone. Another clip of Caitlin Clark and a coach tying off. Anybody notice last night, Caitlin Clark literally just played her game, right? But before we get to that, let's get to the worst 2 minutes in the history of WNBA basketball. I mean, WNBA basketball may have gotten set back 50 years last night, and it's only existed for 30. I mean, over and beyond. And guys, keep in mind, this was actually something that was said yesterday. Now, the Dream, Angel Reese and the Dream, played the Las Vegas Aces. Kennedy Carter went off. Chelsea Gray went off. Asia Wilson went off. You know who didn't go off? Angel Reese. And boy, it was ugly. And
while one side of the WNBA is watching Caitlin Clark rise from the ashes and completely take over the game, despite her own coaching staff, the other side of the league is dealing with an absolute unmitigated disaster. We are riding incredibly high on the Iowa legend finding her rhythm. But we have to take a serious detour to talk about what might literally be the worst 2 minutes of professional basketball ever captured on film. I am not exaggerating when I say that what we witnessed yesterday may have set women's professional basketball back 50 years, and the league has only existed for 30. The mainstream media has been working overtime to push a very specific narrative, trying to convince the world that the Atlanta Dream acquired a transcendent, franchise-altering superstar, but the tape never lies. We are about to look at the absolute meltdown of a highly publicized home debut, the shocking compilation of unforced errors, and the undeniable reality that the WNBA's chosen star was actually the worst player on the floor. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because the truth about this performance is getting completely exposed today.
this is possibly the worst 2 minutes of basketball you will ever see put together. I mean, wow. This is the turnovers, the missed shots, all of it.
Get the screen from Reese.
Let's just check it out. Right here. I mean, she hit somebody in the face. Folks, she hit somebody in the damn grill and just turned that ball over. To hell with it. You know, what was that? And it's somebody else's fault, I think, is what I gather, right? Oh, here we go. That's where the shoe came off. Lord. Driving. No. No.
To truly appreciate the sheer scale of the disaster, you have to look at the massive wave of hubris that preceded the tip-off. ESPN and NBC were running the hype machine at maximum capacity, treating the game like the coronation of a new queen. During a pre-game interview with Jordan Cornette, Angel Reese was asked about her upcoming individual matchup against A'ja Wilson, the undisputed best player on the planet. Instead of showing the kind of measured respect you would expect from a player transitioning to a new system, Reese looked right into the camera and stated that while she knows Wilson is the MVP, she also knows that she is a great player and can guard her well. It was a bold, borderline arrogant statement. Look, you have to respect A'ja Wilson's dominance, even if you don't love her attitude. She is a force of nature. For a newcomer to step up to a national microphone and imply they are operating on that exact same elite tier is writing a massive check. And unfortunately for the Atlanta Dream, that check bounced the literal second she stepped onto the hardwood. The box score from this highly anticipated home debut is nothing short of a statistical nightmare. While her teammates were battling tooth and nail against a championship-caliber Las Vegas Aces roster, the great player delivered a performance that actively sabotaged the offense. We are talking about a final line of 1 of 8 from the field, paired with a completely mind-boggling 8 turnovers, 1 made basket and 8 turnovers. You have to understand the mechanics of the game to realize how devastating that is. When a post player, someone who is supposed to be operating close to the rim and securing high-percentage looks, racks up 8 turnovers, it completely destroys the flow of the team. Every time the Dream tried to establish momentum, an unforced error would immediately hand the ball right back to a Las Vegas offense that certainly does not need any extra help. The superstar wasn't just having an off night, she was a complete, undeniable liability to her own team. But that wasn't the whole story. The most damning piece of evidence didn't come from a missed shot. It came from the coaching staff's ultimate decision when the game was on the line. As the fourth quarter ticked down, and the Dream found themselves mounting a desperate, furious rally against the defending champions, where was the highly promoted face of the franchise? She was sitting squarely on the bench. The coaching staff made the calculated decision to remove her from the floor during crunch time because they realized they had a better chance of winning without her. Of course, her dedicated fans immediately flooded the internet with excuses, claiming she was simply in foul trouble. Let's shut that narrative down right now. If a professional player cannot manage their fouls in a crucial game, that is a lack of discipline and entirely their own fault. But more importantly, the optics are absolutely devastating. The Atlanta Dream staged a massive coordinated comeback only when their marquee offseason acquisition was riding the pine. And then, the internet did what the internet does best. A viral compilation video surfaced, stitching together the absolute worst moments of her performance, and it is genuinely hard to watch. It is a 2-minute highlight reel of pure basketball tragedy. You see her wildly turning the ball over by throwing it directly into the face of a defender. You see blatant, unforced traveling violations that look like they belong in a junior varsity scrimmage. You see her throwing up absolute bricks from point-blank range, missing the rim so badly that she practically had to duck to avoid the ball ricocheting back at her own head. And of course, the absolute crown jewel of the blooper reel, a missed layup so chaotic and out of control that her shoe literally flew off her foot and landed in the middle of the paint. It looked like someone desperately trying to miss on purpose. It is, without a doubt, the worst compilation of professional basketball ever assembled in one setting. But instead of going to the gym and putting in the footwork to fix these glaring fundamentals, the reaction to the criticism has been remarkably thin-skinned. Reports surfaced that she allegedly tried to go after independent content creators who were mocking her missed layups with brick graphics. Let that sink in. You are a professional athlete making massive money, and instead of working on your post moves, you are worried about what YouTubers are doing with graphics. If you cannot handle the heat of a bad performance being analyzed, then perhaps the professional hardwood isn't the right lane. Embrace the role of a D-list celebrity, lean into the influencer lifestyle, start a podcast, and run your social media empires. But if you demand to be treated like an elite basketball player, you have to be able to accept the absolute roasting that comes when you go 1 of 8 with your shoe falling off on national television. The brutal reality check that the Atlanta Dream front office is currently swallowing is that they did not acquire a franchise cornerstone. They acquired a highly specialized character actor. When you look at the actual talent on that roster, she is clearly the fourth or fifth option on a good day. During this specific game, you could easily argue that she was the ninth best player on the floor. Frankly, a bench warmer who logged 0 minutes contributed more to the team's success simply by not turning the ball over 8 times. The gap between the media's promotional fantasy and the reality of the tape is wider than the Grand Canyon. The WNBA deserves to be showcased for its incredible talent, but forcing a narrative around a player who cannot finish at the rim is a disservice to the athletes who are actually putting in the work. Do you think the Atlanta Dream made a massive mistake by trading for a player who looks like a total offensive liability, or was this just one incredibly bad night that she will bounce back from? Drop your absolute most unfiltered thoughts in the comments below, because we are reading every single one. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the raw, no-holds-barred truth. See you in the next one.